Yo.
Yo, what's up? Day one. Tickles, Alfredo Joe, C-Fats, Mac and Bees. Wally. Gaming can be fun. What is up, man? Angus. Jalen, Marvin, Jess, Maddie, Haldo, Echo, Hang Tight, Sam. Professor. Caster Troy, what is up? All in AMC, this guy, what is up, man? Fizz, Nikos. C-Fats, yeah, man. I can definitely shout out Natalie. What is up, Natalie? I'm shouting out from Yo Dad, Z-Fats. Happy to have you guys in here and chilling out, man. Is Alex. What is up, Sam? What is good? C-Fats. Alright, guys, this is the real price of AMC. I'm going to talk a little bit about the chart based on the adjustment. Okay, I know there's a lot of questions on, what the true price is, how the adjustment affects things. So I will be talking about that in this video here shortly, and then we're going to be looking at AMC. Okay, I did go ahead and create another indicator here specifically to adjust the entire chart of AMC. So to display the original price. So TradingView actually went ahead and scaled the price. There is a number, by the way, guys, for this, and you can calculate it based on previous values. So that magic number is 1.627. Keeps going forever, but those other values aren't really relevant. They don't matter. So the shift, when it did take place, which is right here, those values you will look at right here. So watch this. This is the original chart right now, AMC's adjusted chart, which now shows a high of right around here, right around the 48 range. Okay, and the entire chart was adjusted. Now, most brokers haven't adjusted this yet, and yes, I believe that is wrong. I think the entire chart should have been adjusted from the start. There's a lot of questions I have for brokers. I've made calls. I've talked to many different people about this, and yes, that part of it is wrong. They should be adjusting the charts, and they should all have one value. I'm personally looking at TradingView to be the one that is correct, just because, again, this calculation that I went ahead and made here for the chart, based on that calculation, TradingView seems to have the correct value. And again, I did make this other indicator that shows AMC plus APE with the adjusted previous AMC price, which would show AMC's true price. This is AMC's true price right up here. So that is what we're going to be using here, because I believe that, whatever ultimately happens with APE and AMC, whether one is trading at $1 and the other one at 20 or above, doesn't matter. This is going to display what is AMC's true price and is what matters, right? So moving forward, I will be looking at all of them. I'm going to be looking at APE, AMC individually as well, and then also AMC plus APE. I think AMC plus APE is going to give us the correct value here, it's going to give us the one that is the most accurate. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this here. Okay, so let's do the 30-minute chart here and kind of look at things. Now, the indicator is going to have, it is going to have certain flaws. The only flaws are, well, you can't take a bar pattern from an indicator. It's only going to take the original chart. So AMC or AMC plus APE, however you want to look at it, will take that. Now, remember, these values, these future values, are only AMC values. They're not AMC plus APE. So note that, and also there might be a misunderstanding in the community about that. So I want to make that clear that the values that you're seeing on AMC's chart are only AMC values, not AMC plus APE. This indicator that I have here, I will be posting a little bit later today on the website as well as on the Twitter, so you guys can access this. And what this is going to do is display AMC's true price basically without scaling it, which is something that needed to happen regardless because there was a massive gap on the AMC chart. That should have never happened. That gap should have never happened, and a lot of brokers have that gap. Should be adjusted from the start. So, yes, that's what we got, man. Let's see. Dana, what is up? Elevate Music. Matt, what is good? So, Mikey, the only reason I don't use log is because with pattern analysis, when using log, you don't get the correct ratio values, and that's very important when looking at patterns. So, with technical analysis, there might be certain benefits. Also, when you can't see the price, if the price is very small on the chart, I would use log. But other than that, I don't see a benefit for the type of analysis that I do here. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about AMC here and what we kind of have moving forward. So looking at AMC's chart here, the cool thing about this is there was a lot of different people that had to shift around their lines and all the analysis that they did before this shift took place. Because what TradingView will not do is, and this is something that they do have to work on, but TradingView does not adjust everything that you do prior to any kind of shift, or if you're working on a different time frame. I've had a problem with TradingView with this for forever, and any values that you, or any sort of analysis that you do here that relates to lines or support, resistance, fib levels, anything like that will get shifted or doesn't get shifted when adjustments like this take place. So the chart ends up looking all different and stuff. I'll give you an example. So this is the see where it is. The quad witching right here. This one down here is now adjusted to fit. And you can see it already shifted looking at the daily chart. So we have to go on the 4-hour. There we go. See? The 4-hour chart, and you go on the daily chart, and it just stretches this entire part here when it's not supposed to. And I think I know why, but the chart doesn't know how to sort of calculate that, so it's a little annoying. Now this down here is considering this new chart. Okay, this is just AMC's chart, not considering Ape being a part of it. That's why the indicator here is good for anybody who had any sort of analysis before the shift took place, because then that would kind of fit this chart that I'm talking about. AMC plus Ape adjusted with the previous historical values, right? Which is the all-time high being 77 and not 44 or 48. I'm sorry. So that was the quad witching there. And everything should line up again. The ones that I did not move were, so this was the support level I did not touch. I did not shift the parallel zone, volatility zone, and the squeeze zone here. So all these they stayed the same. I did not shift these around, and then once I created the indicator here, everything started to line up again, which is what we want. We want the true value of AMC. We don't want to, not that we don't want to look at the other charts, but we want the true value of AMC, and that's exactly what we have here. Your little MA, you can kind of see what's going on. Everything is put in place. Yeah, it is not good. It is not good that this is happening. It is part of the corruption. It is part of the manipulation. It sucks. There's still a lot that we have unanswered that people haven't talked about. And I think at some point here, well, in the near future, we're going to have to see what these other brokers are going to do, because you can't really have, one value on one broker, certain values on one broker, and then have something completely different on another one. And one of the ones that is very, very messed up is Webull. Because Webull, on the daily chart, it shows the adjusted chart, but anything before that, you go on the 4-hour chart, 2-hour chart, 30-minute, and it's not adjusted. So that can be very misleading if you're somebody who does, TA or anything like that on Webull. So they do need to correct those values. All right. Some realistic hopium. I only do, like, whenever we get close to the point of interest, if everything is tracking according to it. I wouldn't necessarily call that hopium. I tell it how it is, but the points of interest, guys, are just volatility zones. And, those volatility zones, if they do track according to the overall setup, then it makes it more likely than not, now that the trajectory is changing, that we would actually start going up here, and we would have major volatility on that POI and start going up. So yes, I've mentioned this, that the next POI in September, late September going into October, would be the one that would potentially kick things off, just because of the way the market is trending right now, and also the way all these meme stocks are trending. Everything is curling back up. Right? I'm going to pull up now just the AMC chart, not the AMC plus Ape. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at this chart. and we're going to be looking at this quad witching that I created here. So, okay, values are being shifted again. This is not supposed to be there. This is supposed to be way over here. Right there. So you can kind of see now with the adjusted version of this chart, which is just AMC, everything's still curling back up. And we talked about this trend line. What would happen here? Because based on the projection that I had on how we would squeeze here, how we would go on that next leg up, and you're going to see two versions of this, because the adjusted version, again, is showing the true price of AMC, so it's way up here. But if we take this entire thing and we shift it down, which is what we have to do because this is only AMC plus 8. This is AMC. And this is what you get. You would have some kind of volatility going into the beginning of the month in the next couple of days. And then see how this comes right back into this box that we talked about here for quad witching. This is a quad witching trend line. And what happens here is like volatility comes back up again very quickly, and then it gets crushed immediately before quad witching, before coming back up again. We saw this same scenario, the same setup play out on the GameStop run up that we had prior to in January. Okay, the exact same setup, and it was just shaking off people as the price increased until it got to a point where it couldn't suppress any volume, and then the algorithm broke and we ran to 500. Okay, so the only way I would see that happening here with AMC is if we started to climb very quickly and very soon. If we don't, then it is more likely than not the entire market is going to come down, and that we are going to trade on this single digit zone here for a little while until we're just going to keep looking at the next POI, guys, until things start to curl back up, because that's really the way this works. Trying to find these points of interest is not, and it's not a hard thing to do with AMC specifically, because these are put in place and they run through a cycle that is put in place, right? This is a cycle that repeats itself every 62 days, every 2 months, okay? And then from this, we've seen AMC respect all the POIs starting from November, okay? Way back here. Now, these POIs run all the way back from when the cycle started, but when we started tracking it in the channel here in November, you saw the inverse take place. You have a breather cycle, you have another breather cycle, so it's like one off, one on, one off, one on. Now, there does come a point where things merge, and we've talked about that already. When you get to the projector pattern, same thing right here. Okay, there's a previous cycle and then a projector that merges. What is this next cycle? Because back here, guys, there is a smaller cycle, and when that merger took place on the projector and shot up, it created a bigger cycle, because now you're dealing with larger numbers. And that's the same thing that we're looking at here. Once we start coming back up, we're going to be dealing with larger numbers, so the cycle is naturally going to be bigger for that, okay? All right, let's see. Oscar, what's up, man? Stevie. Yeah, that's a good question on crypto. Hang tight. We'll pull up crypto here real quick. Okay, so crypto is, and this is Bitcoin. There's multiple ways you guys can look at these parallel lines. What I do a lot here with parallel lines is that I repeat them because they do kind of show the fibs, almost like the fib version of at least the first two values, even though they're the same here, of like where you would have certain levels of support or resistance. But what is happening here is that we definitely have some kind of a double bottom. Now, the only way that would actually play out is if there is another stage of just sideways pressure like this before starting to climb back up. But it's right now, it's really important that we pay attention to the overall market, so the SPY and all the indexes, to understand where the market is going to go next. Because typically what crypto does is that crypto does follow the market, but there's more volatility, way more volatility in crypto, and crypto hasn't shown a reversal yet compared to the market. So the market is already turning. It's already going back up, and crypto is just dipping. So what we need here in the market, at least, we need a full on crypto is we need a full recovery. We need a continuation, and we need to cross the previous levels of resistance before anything is confirmed. And I think, honestly, like, once you start to get up in this range here, you cross resistance once, that becomes an opportunity for all these smaller coins, because just like the SPY, you tend to see Bitcoin, so what basically controls the entire crypto market, right? You start to see that go up, and it's the same thing with these sector rotations in the market, where you start to see multiple stocks follow one by one, right? Now, there are stages and there are periods where the market is dry, and that's inevitable. You're not going to see many stocks go up. You're not going to see many cryptos go up, and there's not many POIs in that week, and that's completely normal. Just because the market tends to behave that way, a lot of POIs happen at the same time, at the same day, and there's not always going to be an opportunity every single day for there to be something in the market. So that's something I live by here, and just be patient for the next POI, be patient for the next play in the market, because it's likely that next play is going to be very profitable. As the POIs do play out, they tend to be pretty powerful, a lot of volatility involved. So that is crypto right now. So it's looking strong, but we do need to see a full reversal here. Man, we got Nancy Pelosi in the house. All right, let's go ahead and look at the AMC plus APE chart again. Let's display a different price. Relevant price, really. Accurate. You can go on the 1 minute too. I'm going to go on the 1 minute because I do want to see what AMC plus APE is doing. Now, you can kind of see the differences here, guys. This right here, and why I think it's very important. Let's go ahead and bring in AMC by itself. So this is AMC up here by itself. This is AMC plus APE. You can see the differences. There's big differences. And then we also have APE. Pull up APE right here. And that will be right here. And you see how both of these equate to what is this right here in the middle. So we got AMC on top, AMC plus APE, which is the true price, and then we have APE right here. Now, what you really want to be looking at and tracking moving forward is, well, to get more information on the stock, you want to track all of them. But the true price is going to be the one in the middle. And this is something that's a little bit it is wrong that we don't have access to this information right here in the middle, because it does display the true price. Now, over time, I do believe that AMC will adjust to this change, and we don't know enough information yet, because we don't know what's going to happen with APE yet. We don't know if APE is going to surpass AMC. We don't know if AMC is going to sustain this #1 spot and continue to go up. That is going to determine what this AMC plus APE is going to do in the end. If APE starts coming down and say it goes to $1 or something, and AMC starts moving and it starts to go up to the $30 range or something, well, all the value is going to be, unless it's diluted, right? But most of that value here is going to be on AMC. Now, if there were to be some kind of dilution on APE, then that won't be the case, right? If there's dilution on APE, then it could be trading at $2, AMC could be at 10, and the price is still going to be fairly similar. So it's something to just kind of keep in mind moving forward. It won't be as transparent, unfortunately, because a lot of people don't understand how dilution works. But with dilution, if there is dilution on APE, that won't make AMC go up or anything like that, because you're not changing. You're just adding more shares to the stock. So that wouldn't necessarily be a bullish thing, at least in the short term for AMC or anything like that. So, but again, why we are looking at this chart right here in the middle, why it's the most accurate, why it's something that really all brokers should have put in place and should have, they do AMC plus APE here, guys. But the problem with this, let's pull it up here. AMC plus APE, look what happens. This is why I have the indicator here. But if you have AMC plus APE, you don't have its true value. I don't know what those are doing there. Because you don't have the historical data. So why, sure, you can look at the chart like this, but what about everything before? How are you going to look at AMC like that? That's silly. So that's exactly why the indicator is here, because you can look at historical data too. So, and right now, guys, for those that are also on the Discord and everything, the market seems to be in a state of, well, basically deciding if we are going to have another leg down and spring, right? We talked about the spring going into tomorrow. We did just hit 404.50 on the SPY and came back down very quickly. So right now, with the market where it is, if we do have another leg down and we have a spring at the 398 level, that would be that opportunity here for the stocks moving forward. I think the majority of stocks and what we're looking at here have the potential to start moving up. All the POIs that we're tracking this week have the potential to start moving up towards the middle of the week. Most of them do. So right now, since it's very early in the week, a lot of the options are going to be a little bit high in volatility because of what just happened. And there's a lot of people jumping in on these meme stocks and stuff right now. I personally would not be looking at anything for those at the moment. And BBBY is also like, and if you are getting in and out very quickly, if you're day trading like options or something on Bed Bath and Beyond, I'm sure you are making some money. But the volatility here is extremely high, and the contracts are obviously extremely high in price. So as soon as this thing starts to drop or go up both ways, really, you can, it is a very high risk stock right now just because of the volatility, right? Yes, and Tilray Tickles, like that is another stock that we were looking at here on the POIs. And I do see Tilray making a move back up. It is one of the ones that has been suppressed for a really long time. So typically with meme stocks, they do cycle against each other as well, and they take turns going up. Tilray has been suppressed, Sundial, all these cannabis stocks have been suppressed to the ground, and they haven't really had that room to breathe, like AMC, GameStop, Bed Bath & Beyond, and also BlackBerry. BlackBerry has been one of the ones that has been suppressed as well. So yes, those do track a POI, and they are expected to go up in the short term. But it really is gonna depend a lot here on what the market is gonna do in the next couple of days, because most POIs, even though we track them here and there is volatility that plays out on those zones, most POIs will be affected by the market in general. If the market starts coming down, it's more likely than not that those POIs turn inverse and start, crashing down, just exactly like we saw on AMC in November, right? That was one of the major negative inverse POIs. Pull that up. So we know that the cycle here displays all the POIs for us, and this was a inverse POI we saw back here. Okay, and both of these have been positive POIs. 1, 2, and then POI right here, right? Of course, man. All right. Yeah, Amy is curling back up as well. So that is good. I do see AMC going up. Also, guys, if you are interested in tracking POIs on the website, you can do that. It is available. I did update the website now, and you can go on the AMC chart. So here I'm going to pull it up here real quick. So here's the website. Okay, updated. This is what the charts kind of look like, the POIs when we track them, interactive charts. And if you want more info on this, you do have to become a member and join the Discord also if you would like. That is free. Also, AMC, right? Everybody can access AMC. Shows a little POI here based on the cycle analysis, and then you can track it day by day, right? So you just press play, and then here's a little zones of support and resistance as this thing is moving. Very simple, very straight to the point. Okay. But that is available now, just so you guys know. Yeah, Amy's looking really good. Uh, 3 minute and compare it to the 1 hour. Oh, okay. Yeah, like the projector here. Yeah, this is a projector, by the way, right here, and we're starting to see this sort of climb here. Now, let's do this. Let's take this, and now we're not gonna get the value we want because this is AMC plus 8, but I think it'll be fine because this does look like, and that's a good catch, man. This does look exactly like, so what we're gonna do actually is we're gonna go to the 30-second chart to get a more detailed chart here. That is a good catch because this is exactly what we are looking at here, guys, on, yep. This entire chart right here. It's exactly what it is. Wow. Look at that. Yep, on the one. And this does go with the current setup that we've been talking about too on the, so I do have a little list here of squeeze candidates is what I call them, because what they are is they're patterns based on pattern analysis on you know, the points of interest that are tracking here and how they line up based on patterns. So let's look up those. So here's one that I have. You can see again, they're all crown setups, triple tops before coming down and curling back up. Here's one. I have like 7. Here's GMEs, right? This was based on the GME cycle before it ran to 500. Here's Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a big one because we have again the crown setup before curling back up. We also have Tilray. And then BlackBerry, right? Now, BlackBerry is a little different. It's a different case, but it does line up with the POI as well. There's a couple. And then, yeah, based on what happens today, this might be a good indicator that if we start coming back up here, if AMC starts to push back up and we start, you know, actually rising in price, it might kind of give us a good idea of what AMC is going to do next. This has happened before many times, guys. I've used this sort of strategy here with not only AMC, but the entire market. Sometimes intraday setups do predict the future because fractals are very useful in that. They do repeat themselves on larger and smaller time frames. So, yeah, Professor, nice catch, man, on that. I'm going to go ahead and save this here. I'm going to call it AMC intraday. And I'm going to save that here for the little list that I have collecting here on the squeeze candidates for bar patterns. Good stuff, dude. All right, let's go back here on the 30-second. See what AMC does. Yep, and it does seem like Bed Bath & Beyond is going up again. As risky as this play is, it seems like it's taking a breather to the upside here from being shorted from 30 all the way back down to 9. I do tend to stay away from these just because of the risk. Now, because I do see it as an opportunity for other stocks to go up that don't have as much volatility and as they're taking turns. So when you have a stock go from 4 to 30 and then all the way back down like this, anything in between, sure, could be profitable in here, but it's not as predictable as you think. It's like playing puts on a stock that has extreme volatility. A lot of people ask me, like, why don't you play puts on AMC, or why don't you play puts on some of these other stocks? Because when you are tracking a POI, you are tracking a POI when the volatility is extremely dry. When volatility is low and the POI hasn't kicked in yet. So what happens is you're able to get these contracts at very low premiums, and when the stock rises, unfortunately, at the top, puts don't get cheaper, right? They do get cheaper if in the sense that you're going away from the strike price, but volatility will increase on any contracts that are close or even further out in the money when you're up here, as if you had a, like a stagnant stock. If it's just trading sideways and then you buy puts, okay, that's different. But that's not really the case here with AMC, because we're tracking POIs. And if it starts going up and you buy puts up here, very likely that you're not going to profit as much as if you were buying calls when volatility is dry. So it's a weird concept, but I tend to stay away from puts on any, plays that have high volatility. And then also with Bed Bath & Beyond, it's like, yeah, you go to 30, you come all the way back down, and anything right here, you still have very high volatility. So, if things aren't going the way you plan them to, unless you're, again, like a day trader or something, but the majority of people are not going to be day trading. But the risk is extremely high with something like that right now. So BBBY, today is T plus 13 from it going on regular show the 16th. There's a great Reddit post about it. GME did the same thing in December 2020. Let's look at it. Let's look at GME December 2020. Kyrie, what is up, man? We're going to look at GME here in 2020. Okay. December of 2020. So you're talking about like this right here, right? December 8th. And then right before Christmas, you're talking about this right here, right? Okay. See what Bed Bath & Beyond looks like. Okay, so the way I look at it, and it's all has really to do with the volume coming in with stocks that have massive pumps. I'm going to show you an example here, because the T plus 13 and T plus 35 and stuff like that, when it's attached with certain failure to delivers and stuff like that, I have just a small bit of skepticism with that data, even though the stock is going up and there might be some kind of covering or shorting or whatever is going on here with that date tied down to the price going up right now, is the major question here is, like, are we going to get a replication of or even like a higher level going up, and not just a push back up and then a pump, right? Or a pump and dump is what I guess I'm afraid of here with something like Bed Bath & Beyond. Because, and let's pull up Gree for this, because I think that's a good example. Now Gree is obviously it's a different setup, but it's similar in a way. Now the problem with this is that you have, okay, so and I'm gonna be talking about this. With this, the initial and also you don't have as many people going in on this or anything, so it is a little bit different, and this does take months, okay? But typically after a pump, okay, you have you dump, right? You pump, dump, stocks like Bed Bath & Beyond, and then you slowly start to climb up before the volume starts to increase very, very quickly, and then you get something like this, right, where the stock goes. Now, this was a merger and acquisition, so it is a little different. It wasn't like this before. This used to show 30 with support.com before something like this happened. Now, the setup is a little different, because back here, what we got was we had merger news, and that's why the stock just rose very quickly. They said they're going to be, acquired by these guys, and the stock just pumped, kind of like a BB situation, right? When they announced that, we also had a massive gap up, and then the stock starts coming down. Now with Bed Bath & Beyond, it's a little different, because it slowly started to rise and accumulate all this volume before just pumping, and then it started to dump, right? Pump and dump. Now, what happens here, what I kind of want to show is that after pumps and massive dumps, there are stages where you're going to get covering. And you're going to get covering because of the massive amounts of shorts that do have to cover it, from, going in right here or going in right here on shorts, and the stock keeps going up. They're getting margin called, and that just kind of builds up along the way. But the sentiment has kind of died on the stock, even though we're going up, right? That's the only issue I think I have right now with Bed Bath & Beyond. Even though it's going up, it is up 15%. But we are coming to a point, again, where volatility is high, and unless this thing started to rip, and I'm talking like today, starts to rip and go up very quickly to surpass all this volume, it's more likely than not that this is just going to be kind of like a covering stage now that the stock is down here, right? It covers, and then it starts coming back down again to set up for what is going to be this next POI, this massive POI on GME, AMC, and GameStop. Now, nobody can tell you here if this is going to go higher or not, but what I can tell you is that based on this pump, it's more likely that the next sector, this meme sector, the turn that is going to be what we're tracking right now, which is like Tilray, or BlackBerry, AMC, and GameStop, those will likely have a better chance of gaining, because they haven't had the full potential yet, right? They released a bunch of shares here on Bed Bath & Beyond, and I think it's already kind of had its turn, so there are other stocks that are kind of waiting to have their turn, and I do believe that that's kind of what we get here with the market, right? Some go up, they come back down. You get a period here where they cover some of those shares, and then they start to trade the stock sideways, or it keeps coming back down until we get another leg up, right? But we will see here in the short term, because anything is possible in the stock market. The stock market will do whatever it wants to do, really, even if things look a certain way, and so. But on the bright side, we do have AMC going up, curling back up again. We kind of talked about this here with Professor as he mentioned that this looked extremely similar. And actually, dude, man, this is actually probably going to be very good for AMC here because, all right, let's do this. This might confirm some things. We're getting that V bounce, guys, that we talked about here on AMC, which is very good for the stock. And we're gonna go ahead and compare this again because look at that, man. Good shit. Good shit on that, bro. Okay, wow. Boom, 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 boom. Right here, imagine going up here and just setting up and boom, baby, we go. It's a really nice setup. Kyrie, what is up, man? Aaron. Sayna, what is up? Sean. Ryan. We got Ryan Cohen in here. Said, yo. Okay, so the theorem BBBY, if it followed GME back in 2020, up today, next day or two, then back down, then a push up into T35, which is September 20th. So, yeah, and you know what? If that does happen, and it starts, let's say we do get something like the Greece setup, right? Where you have a period here where you get a massive pump, a dump, and then it starts going, right? It's possible. It's possible that the chosen stock here for something like this is Bed Bath & Beyond. Sure, that could be the case. I'm rooting for really all the meme stocks to have their fair share here and go up at the same time. I really am. I really hope that is the case, and that's kind of why we track, all these different stocks within the meme sector individually and understand their volatility individually, and what the option chain is doing to be able to profit on some of these runs that are happening. I hope that Bed Bath & Beyond is able to surpass its current volume here, and if the stock continues to go up, I hope it keeps going up. That would be nice. Perhaps what could happen here is that once we line up with this macro POI here, which is end of September, and we know this with the entire meme little basket, right, that we talk about is just AMC, GameStop, Bed Bath & Beyond, BlackBerry, Tilray, Sundial, Express, all these stocks going up at the same time. I really hope that they all get their nice little fair share, man. It is up 13%, 14%. I think it hit 16 at some point here. So let's take a look, just out of curiosity. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 15-second chart here on Bed Bath & Beyond. Kind of understand what is going on here. What do we got? All right, so right off the bat, I can see a Bitcoin pattern, which is this. Right off the bat, I can see that taking place. Now, what happens here on the Bitcoin pattern, which is the crown, two things, right? The POI lies right here. So anything that we get here, if it's upside or downside, is going to tell us a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up that pattern here so we can look at it from that. This is the pattern that is playing out right now, guys. And this is why fractals are so fucking cool. Bed Bath & Beyond, and I'm going to go on the 5-hour, just stretch the hell out of this chart because this is there we go. And here is the Bitcoin pattern right there. Bingo. Crown pattern on Bitcoin is playing out right now on the 10-second chart on Bed Bath & Beyond. You can see how accurate that is. Based on fibs, based on levels of resistance and support, it'll show you almost the exact same pattern. And you can see it's starting to go back up here. These tools, guys, if you are a day trader, something like that, these are very handy when it comes to stuff like that, especially if you're day trading like, you know, options where there is a lot more leverage and a lot more opportunity. Now, there is a point, and I say this over again, but there is a point where the fractal gives up, and that is completely normal, and it typically happens on the point of interest. So the points of interest here are where there's major volume, and you can see right off the bat here, this would be a point of interest. This section right back here would be a point of interest. And these typically give you the macro direction of where the stock is going to go. So obviously Bitcoin here, this is a pretty long period of time, and it'll these points of interest are shifting where Bitcoin is going to go for, you know, for X amount of time, right? So we can see there's one here, there's a shorter one here, macro one here, and then another macro here, right? Because this is where it starts coming down. Yeah, so I guarantee you that here, unless the stock starts coming back up, two things are going to happen. We're either going to go up here or we're going to start pumping back down. And you consider this a volatility zone based on pattern analysis and only pattern analysis. Once you sort of look at everything else by itself, you get a better picture and you can narrow things down more and more. That's why, you know, I use everything else, dude. I use patterns. I use the option chain. I understand how other stocks behave, the market, technical analysis. All of that has to do with these POIs. And intraday POIs are very dangerous. They're very risky. So I do pull them up here on the stream. But most of the time, guys, these are a little bit on the riskier side. They are. Okay, so let's see what it does here. Let's see what it does here. Turn this pattern here. What color? All right, guys, so remember this is Bed Bath & Beyond right here and the Bitcoin pattern down here. And look at that. We're getting that pressure now down. Why fractals are extremely accurate? Intraday right here. Boom. And this is all algorithms, guys. Algorithms drive and create these patterns. They're not this is not human sentiment. This is not trader retail sentiment. This is algorithms creating this synthetic price action in what we would call, you know, a crown or a triple top. All these patterns, guys, they're part of a bigger issue. And if you know how to play the game, well, then you know how to play the game, right? Volatility zone incoming here. So what happens now is, are we going to go up or are we going to come back down, right? What is going to happen? One, two, three, four, five, boom. Yeah, and I have not seen a you know, such an accurate pattern here in a pretty long time. You typically tend to see these guys when there is more volatility on any stock, because that's when the algorithm really tries, like really tries to look at that shit right there. Boom. Boom. This is on Bed Bath & Beyond here. So we'll see what happens here moving forward, but so far we've seen it track this entire thing here based on this Bitcoin pattern. Okay, so whenever it starts to give up, that's when you stop tracking that pattern and you look at something else, because what happens now is that, remember, this is a 10-second time frame. If you pull it up, say on the 1 minute, right, it's going to look a little bit different. You do have to shift it, right? You do have to shift to 1 minute. Changes a little bit the structure here. There we go. Whenever it stops tracking, and we actually did this a while back, one of the patterns I was tracking on AMC prior to its run, or actually its drop, really back in January probably, is when we were tracking Bitcoin a lot, and we saw it give up. We saw it give up around this range right here. So it would follow this entire sequence, and then right here, it sort of started to stretch out and do its own thing. So that happens, and that is going to happen, and the algorithm is going to now shift over and create a different pattern on the macro, because what could be the case, and this is why I have a hard time with understanding, or not understanding, but really have a hard time paying attention to, you know, like say, you know, this could be considered a shoulder to a head and then another shoulder, right? Or it could also be a pennant or a flag, or, you know, it could really be what you want it to be, but until it fully plays out, or until you have a better understanding of what this pattern is going to do, you won't quite know that. And you kind of have to be looking at this from every time frame to understand what it's going to do next. Why I use a lot of different patterns, because there really is endless amounts of possibilities. So let's go ahead and take a breather here with this. I'm going to keep this pattern here. I'm going to go on the 10-second again, and I'm going to keep it here. And until it stops completely tracking, there are times where you get a bit of delay, and then it starts following again. But right now, it seems like it is starting to stray away and not follow this sequence. So you're going to see it do something else from here on out. So we'll come back here to Bed Bath & Beyond, and we're going to do AMC again. And let's go ahead and track this and update it here on the macro chart, guys. Actually, why did I do that? Professor over here hooking it up with that nice eye, man. Good shit. Look at how accurate that is, man. Shout out, Professor. Look at that. That is perfect. And that's what we want, dude. That is what we fucking want. Okay, I will be posting this indicator here later today, so stay updated for that. The indicator that's out right now is not updated, so that is going to show a different value. If you go in on indicators and you go in on this trading view, trading with emotions, this one is going to show something else, right? So let me show you the difference between these two indicators. One is going to show the true price of the adjusted version of AMC, and the other one is messed up right now because the chart got shifted, right? So let's go and remove the one I just made. So this is the problem with the current indicator, guys. The current indicator is showing the adjusted values. So now AMC doesn't have that all-time high being 77. The shift that took place is a 1.627 shift. That is a shift that took place. Most brokers have not updated the charts to look this way. The only ones that I could find right now that have this are Webull and TradingView, and Webull only has it on the daily chart. It does not have it on any other time frame, so that's a little sketchy to me. And yes, I'm with Booksy about this too. Booksy had mentioned that, you know, this isn't something to really take lightly, because it's not. It's something that people should be pissed about, because most brokers are showing a different value, and when you can't study the chart in you know, such an, I guess, organic way, then that's not fair. Most stocks will be adjusted from the day of, whether it's a split, a spinoff, whatever it is, most stocks will be adjusted, and AMC's wasn't. So that to me is manipulation, and it's part of this whole thing. So for the time being, guys, I will be posting that indicator, and anybody can use it. This will display AMC's true price, because it's AMC plus APE adjusting the entire chart. So it's going to show the all-time high being 77. And then moving forward, what you get is AMC plus APE, which is what the true price should be. So if you're one of those people that wants to study the actual price of AMC and what AMC is truly doing, then I would consider using this indicator. Okay. All right. Alrighty, guys, we are going to take a little break here. I'm going to be doing some Discord updates, and I will be back. Okay, I will be back, whether it's tomorrow or with a nice video coming out. Okay, I will see you guys soon. All right, you guys take good care, and AMC is doing amazing. If you want more updates or anything like that, just follow me on Twitter, and then also on the Discord. If you press the website, you can go ahead and join the Discord. I do send out updates on that as well, okay? I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.